1. The time I found a hidden door in my new apartment, and what I discovered. I just moved into a new apartment last week, and it seemed like everything was going perfectly. The place was cozy, the neighbors were friendly, and the rent was a steal. But then, something bizarre happened. While rearranging the furniture in my bedroom, I noticed a small, barely noticeable seam in the wall. It looked like the outline of a door, but there was no handle or hinge. Curiosity got the best of me, so I grabbed a butter knife from the kitchen and started prying at the edges. To my surprise, a small panel popped open, revealing a dark, narrow passage dotted at first. I hesitated. The idea of crawling into a hidden space in my own apartment felt like something out of a horror movie. But my curiosity was stronger than my fear. I grabbed my phone for a flashlight and squeezed through the opening. What I found on the other side was beyond anything I could have imagined. The passage led to a tiny, secret room that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. Dust covered everything, and the air was thick and musty. But what caught my attention was a collection of old, yellowed photographs pinned to the walls. They were pictures of people, families, couples, children, all smiling and happy. But there was something unsettling about them. Every single person in those photos had their eyes scratched out. Chills ran down my spine as I backed out of the room, shutting the panel behind me. I haven't gone back in since, but I can't stop thinking about who lived here before me, and where they hid that room, too. My grandfather's secret recipe. The unexpected inheritance that changed my life. My grandfather was known for two things: his love for gardening and his incredible cooking skills. Growing up, we spent countless weekends at his house, enjoying family meals made with vegetables fresh from his garden. But there was one dish that stood out above the rest: his famous stew. No one knew the recipe. Grandpa always said it was a family secret, passed down through generations. When he passed away, I was heartbroken. But during the reading of his will, I received something I never expected: a sealed envelope with my name on it. Inside was a handwritten note. The secret is in the roots. You'll find them in the garden. Confused but intrigued, I went to his garden and started digging around the area where he used to grow his vegetables. After a few hours, I hit something harder. Small metal box buried in the soil. Inside was a piece of paper with a simple list of ingredients, including one that caught me by surprise: ginseng root. I followed the recipe exactly, and when I tasted the stew, it was just like I remembered. But there was something more. The ginseng gave it an unexpected kick, a warmth that spread through my whole body. That night, I slept better than I had in years, and in the morning, I felt more energized and focused. I started making the stew regularly, and soon, I noticed other changes. My health improved, I had more energy, and even my mood was brighter. Word got out among my friends and family, and before long, I was making the stew for everyone I knew. People started asking for the recipe, and eventually, I decided to turn it into a small business. What started as a secret recipe from my grandfather turned into a life-changing discovery. I'll always be grateful for that unexpected inheritance. 3. The night a stranger saved me on the highway, but I never saw their face. A few months ago, I had the most terrifying experience of my life. I was driving home late at night on a deserted highway when my car suddenly broke down. No cell service, no other cars in sight. It was just me, stranded in the middle of nowhere. I tried everything to get the car started again, but nothing worked. Panic started to set in as the minutes ticked by, and the reality of being alone on that dark, empty road became more and more unsettling. Just when I was about to give up hope, a pair of headlights appeared in the distance. As the car approached, I waved my arms frantically, praying they would stop. Thankfully, they did. A man stepped out, and though I couldn't see his face clearly in the dark, his calm voice was immediately reassuring. He asked what happened, and after I explained, he offered to take a look under the hood. Within minutes, he had identified the problem: a loose battery connection, and fixed it with ease. I was beyond relieved and thanked him profusely. He simply nodded, told me to drive safe, and got back into his car. As I turned to start my own car, I realized I hadn't even asked his name. I turned back to wave, but his car was already pulling away, disappearing into the night. To this day, I have no idea who he was, but I'll never forget the stranger who saved me on that lonely highway. It was a small act of kindness that meant the world to me, and it restored my faith in the goodness of people.